Well, did you have a goal when you were like, okay, I know you earlier had a goal of like making 10 million or whatever. Did you have a
Yeah.
goal when you got there? Like, what was your goal? Because for me in particular, I was like, I want to build a company, make a lot of money so I never have to work again. That was my goal, right?
Really?
That
Okay.
that was literally what I set out, right? And so, yeah, for you, what was there something or was it
No.
just a dollar amount? That was just what it was.
Well, in 2013, I created a bucket list, I think with some friends at the time, and I wrote down 10 million, but I totally forgot about that until recently, that
Yeah.
list. I had never really even thought about that amount. And when I was working in the company, it was never I want to build this up to sell it for X or Y, whatever. It was literally just solely like, I just want to be like, create an awesome product and just keep selling it. In hindsight, I think I should have been more intentional about that thought process,
Mm-hmm.
but it is what it is.
So you didn't have a stage. Stage one wasn't. There was nothing there.
It
You
was
never
just
imagined
total
it. It was totally
dedication
new.
to
Yeah.
the business until it wasn't. Stage two was, all right, I need to talk to as many people as possible to go through and like research as much as I can about investing, taxes. I remember listening to there's a My First Million podcast interview with the Tiger 21 founder,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Somerstein, is that something like that?
Yep.
And he was like, people that sell their business are really good at running whatever the company that was, but are not generally really good at managing money
Mm-hmm.
at that scale. And so you have two things. One, you can either spend a lot of time and try to get good at it, or you obviously, hand it off to somebody else and let them manage it for you.
Yep.
So I figured, all right, I need to like get ramped up like super quick. I need to learn as much as possible. I need to figure out like what are people investing in? I need to like understand this. And I think two interesting things came from that, which I mentioned before. One, everybody's literally investing in a bunch of different things. There's some people are in real estate. So then I'm like, oh my God, like, do I need to have multifamily and storage and single family homes and like be renting? It seems everybody does that. And no, it's like you don't have to do that. And if you want to, you can invest in other funds that are doing that for you. Okay. And then the other thing that was interesting was the mental aspect of when I talked to other people who had sold stuff, they kind of did welcome me, I feel like, in open arms, which was cool. And like, oh, dude, this is great. And let me introduce you to this guy. And like, that was a kind of a cool, behind the curtain, I feel
Yeah.
like, aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But realizing that, yeah, look, I'm not going to be a CPA in, 60 days of reading Reddit and like
Right.
these random ass blog posts and everything. And you can also make things as complicated as you want. Like you could literally invest in the most complicated funds of this and that asset and this. And it's just like, you could also do the more simplest things that you want to, and there's nothing wrong with either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people, it's a full-time job for them, right? You could literally make
You
it your
see it on
full-time
that
job.
website,
Yeah.
506 forum or
Yeah.
503 forum,
Yeah.
whatever that.
Yeah. People make it their full-time job. That's not what I want to spend my time. I mean, when you dove into it, did you want to spend your time doing that or no?
I realized I did not because I would get closer. Like someone would pitch an alternative investment,
Yeah.
and it's like, this makes sense. It's this PE fund, a big name thing, whatever. First of all, I don't know what the hell I'm reading. Like, I'm like thinking about it. I'm looking for returns. Is this returns? I go to YouTube. I'm watching a video on it. Is this and it was the same thing for real estate. It's just like, I haven't spent the 10,000 hours in these areas. It's literally over that. I had realized that the only edge I'm going to get is if there's somebody I know that I trust that has done something that I can either sort of follow on or invest in them.
Exactly.
But they were like really close and that I've known them for a long time.
Well, I mean, I think that you're one step away from a wealth advisor, right? I mean, like, you mentioned earlier that people are like, why do you go with wealth advisor? Like people on Reddit, right? And they're so anti, but that's really, if you find someone you trust that has the 10,000 hours in those areas, like that's why people would go with them, right? Versus doing it yourself.
Which I did go with I know you're working with one. I went with one for about a third, and I just found the fixed income. I was just like, look, I just want to do basic 60-40 or 70-30. I can do the equities. That's pretty easy. Although this whole like tax loss harvesting is actually a little more complicated, but the fixed income stuff is crazy complicated, especially in California where there's a higher tax rate. And so that does matter to be more tax efficient.